Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts and to the French campaign, where it's a few months after the end of episode 1. The cruisers that I was building are all either finished or starting to commission up. And the Portuguese have put in a pretty hefty order. They've ordered 4 Bruy and 2 Colony class cruisers, so I'm happy to do that. We're not stretching our shipbuilding capacity at the moment. I'm playing the sliders game every turn, just trying to adjust things. A few of the admirals have been told off for excessive naval expenditures, which is quite interesting. And building seems to not really be going on to Italy's refitting. I'm trying. They might have gotten white powder. We've unlocked white powder. Yeah, they're not building anything. The Spanish aren't building anything. The Japanese aren't building anything. The United States is building 1 ship. Nothing. 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 And the British are building 2. So I think a lot of the admirals went a bit gung-ho early on. And they got told off. So, yes. Naval funds. Yeah, Austro-Hungarians are looking a bit light in the pocket. But otherwise, it doesn't look too bad. So, but, yeah, some telling offs going on. Otherwise, everything seems quiet. No wars have kicked off yet. Probably going to be the United States and Japan. Possibly China and Japan. Everything else seems quite relaxed. So yeah, I'll be back when there's some building or there's some geopolitical developments. Welcome back. It's now September 1891, and the British have conquered Morocco, which is interesting. Very interesting to have a British presence in that particular part of the world. They are still friendly with us. I keep trying to get the Italians to at least like us, but it's not going anywhere. But nobody has this. The Portuguese, we've built a few things for them. We're currently building 3 more Truda class cruisers for them. Otherwise, things seem relatively quiet. Economy-wise, at 25 billion, we are number 2 in the world, which is excellent. Our fleet is still relatively small because I am focusing on getting crew and tech budgets up, getting the shipyards built, things like that, and I don't want to be spending money on maintenance. Research-wise, we've got the Light Cruiser 2 coming up, but I'm not particularly interested in that. The big one will be this when we get the Battleship 2. So that'll be very nice. But otherwise, yeah, it's all quiet. Nobody's at war with anybody, so nothing's kicked off yet. Just all nice and quiet. Okay, here's something interesting. It's now December of 1891, and we're being offered the opportunity to take Venezuela, which I'm going to go for it. We're going to need to send all of our battleships, probably. So we'll send the Indomitable from Brest. We'll send Belliqueurs from Le Havre. And we will send Souffron from Marseille. That should give me just about enough. But we can also, of course, send the Imprenable from Fort du Fons immediately. And let's see what chance we get. Well, it'll take them a few turns to arrive, but we can get it ticking over with the Imprenable. Oh, of course, the one time the end turn takes a while. Yeah, been getting this a lot. Yes. Yeah, it's going to take them a while. Anyway, I'll return with more news once that's on the go. Wow! Was not expecting that, actually. Although I had plenty of tonnage, it was only showing a 16% chance. But no, we've taken Venezuela. Very nice. Now then, let's order the ships home. Souverain. Off you go. Belliqueuse. Off you go. And adoptable. Back you go. Well, that is very nice, because hopefully we'll discover oil in Venezuela quite soon, which will help the economy. I think we're still number 2. Yes. Yeah, we're still number 2 in the world for economy. I have been, again, focusing on it quite hard. We can continue to expand our shipyards, though. Economy is looking pretty good. Politics-wise, though, we did just piss a bunch of people off. It's just the way of it. I might try and keep Japan and China on side, because I really can't be bothered with a war in the Pacific right now. But I do not have enough naval prestige to go around trying to do that. So we're just going to have to see how things go. But yes, we now own Venezuela, which is absolutely fantastic. We're building some more ships for Portugal, just to keep the shipyards humming along. We are getting, well, nothing. Also nothing. Battleship 2, though. 13 months, we'll get the Battleship 2, which will be very nice indeed. We're getting compound armour soonish, but it's still early days. Alright, it's now June 1893, and we can start on a new battleship. We really need a new battleship. We're looking a little light. We only still have our original 3, but everyone else, well, apart from the Italians, has been building them. And the Spanish. Okay, but we are definitely behind. And we now have the Battleship 2, which is hopefully actually better than the Ironclad 2. Maybe. It is slightly... It's on par or slightly better. Now, the Indomptables were 10,000 tons. These things can go up to 16,000 tons. I'm not sure we need the full 16,000 tons, but why not? Let's have a look. I think the front tower 4 offers us the best value for money. 2, 3. This one is better. Right, okay. Sure. Okay, game gonna do game things. And then funnels, obviously. How many funnels would you like, sir? Yes. Well, although... I know I can fit more in here, but 3 seems reasonable. I do have induced... Oh, no, I don't have induced boilers. Non! Sacre bleu. Fine. Random 4th funnel. 18 knots. If you... Oh, Jesus. Might have to make it smaller just for that. Yeah, let's go for a slightly more reasonable 12,000 tons. I don't really lose very much for going smaller. I guess we'll use this. We could use the same 260mm gun. Or we could up it. We could go for 300. That would be a pretty big upgrade. 300mm could work. 4 of them. Hello, there we go. Yes. Let's try for the 300mm. And then probably the same 155 secondaries that we used before, and then we could use 80mm, especially because they're Mark IIs. Oops. Trying to see if I could, squeeze in an extra pair of guns somehow. Yeah, I don't think we'll bother with the casements because it can only fit 2 of them. Torpedoes, and we're looking decent. If this doesn't work, I can always downgrade back to the 260mm we were using. Multiple expansion engine. Oh, sorry, triple expansion engine. No other upgrades there. Standard everything, please. Compound armor. Reinforced bulkheads. Getting some nice options here. We can go to gun cotton and white powder. 16-inch torpedoes. Lovely. Now we have a little bit of armor quality. Okay, so we would need about 400mm of armor, though. Well, might be doable. Okay, and then for the extended, I'd say probably around 100. Decks, 25 should be more than enough on the main deck, and extended deck probably virtually nothing. Yeah, shave off the turret top armor. Let's go 160. And the 80mm guns cannot have any upgraded armor. Starboard weight offset. Here we go. Right. Well, these are... Well, they're not cheap, are they? Yeah, they're quite a lot more than the Indomitable. But I think they'll work. The Normandies. They're a little bit bigger. little bit chunkier. They have bigger guns. Yes, why not? Why not? I like it. It's decent. It'll do the job. Save. Let's have a think, though, about how many we can actually afford. We're currently on virtually no monthly balance, but we have 309 in the bank. And these are 46-ish each. So we could easily, I think, build another 3 of these. And we'll put 1 in Brest, we'll put 1 in Le Havre, and we'll put 1 in Marseille. So that we'll now have 3 fleets with 2 battleships each. Yes, I think that'll work just fine. Yeah, I think that'll work okay. Well, we'll be negative for a little bit, but I do have all my sliders maxed, which is a really nice position to be in this early in the game. When I was doing the economy testing, I was playing as the US. And I really wasn't able to max out all the sliders that quickly. So, but France is, yeah, number 2 economy in the game at the moment. We're growing fast right now. We've expanded the empire. Things are looking up. All right, it's now 1895, January. Again, it's all been very, very peaceful. Well, for France anyway. There's still no wars between the major powers either. So we've had a pretty clear run at just sitting here and building up a fleet. And of course we now have some new battleships to look at. Now these will probably keep us busy for a while because we unlocked 3. The 3, the 4 and the 5. So I'm just going to sit and design the 3, build them. And then I'm going to do the 4 and then the 5. So let's start with the 3. So our Normandies are 12,000 tons. So it would be nice if these were slightly bigger. Let's go for 14,000 tons, 18 knots, standard. Okay. Main tower. What are we looking at here? Probably this one. It's got a base accuracy of 6. And again, the cruiser tower is superior in my mind. It is more expensive and lighter. So yeah, we'll go with that. We'll grab some funnels, of course. Go for the... well, the mediums are an interesting option, but they don't fit very well. Really? At least I can get some even spacing with these ones. Although that's 63.98971. Yeah, that is worse. Oh, I can get 3 in. There we go. We'll do that hideous looking 4 funnel nonsense. Still don't have induced boilers. We do have the triple expansion engine. Gets to be near 100%. Now, in terms of guns, could go for the same 300mm guns that the Normandies had. Yeah, why not? Yes, good, good, good. And same 155mm secondaries, although this is getting pretty light on the old secondaries. Can have a ton of 80mm though. And some torpedo tubes. Ooh, we have some interesting options. Compound armor, Bobette 2, anti-torpedo system, standard ratio, base shells, gun to cotton and white powder, advanced hydraulics, and a rangefinder. Fancy. And yeah, the 400mm of armor could be useful again here. Could maybe tone it down a touch. Put 400 on the turrets. How about that? Well, let's go 390. Okay, 390 and 350. 100mm sounds about right. Deck armor. Oh, yes, we are actually starting to need deck armor now. I think 40mm will be enough. This should be +4. This should be +3. 180. Oh yeah, we don't need top armor that thick. Something along these lines. And then we actually have a fair amount of displacement spare, which means we can invest in nice-to-have upgrades like maximum bulkheads, spaciousness. How about standard but with extra coal? Yeah, okay, cool. The Democrates. Again, they have the kind of battle hotel aesthetic. I really don't like that fourth funnel, but there's not much I can do about it right now. They do match the Normandies. They're basically a bigger Normandie. They are very slightly more expensive. They don't have as many 155mm secondary guns, but they have more of the 80mm secondary guns, and they appear to be missing a torpedo tube. Or, yes, they are. Should be one there. There we go. Sure. I'll get 3 of them, please. Same distribution as before. We'll get them built, and then we'll start on the battleship 4s. We'll just have a nice kind of pre-Dreadnought fleet. One in Marseille, one in Havre, and one in Brest. Lovely. They're going to be a little while, 15 months, but we definitely have a plan moving forwards. We are going to get the Armoured Cruiser 2 in 8 months. So I'll either see you in 8 months, or I'll see you when there's some action. 8 months later, we have the Armoured Cruiser 2 unlocked. Yes, you can have a colony class. Should be okay shipbuilding cap-wise. Yeah, we've got about... Well, we'll come back to that. But we have spare capacity, especially considering that Democracy, Cono, and Requin are, well, about 8 months out, but the Arrogante here, the Brui class, is almost done. So, Armoured Cruiser 2. Yeah, we don't want them being massive. They could go all the way up to 8,500 tons, but I think 8,000 tons is fine. That means they're double what a Brui is, which is quite a lot. Might as well go for the... Actually, no. I don't think it's worth it going up to the front tower. 9. I think the 8 will be sufficient. But I will get the rear tower 3. Now, we do have induced triple expansion engines now. Which means we might be able to get this thing... Well, we'll stick to the good old 18 knots that pretty much all our ships do. I think I can get... no. I can get 2 in, though, which is all we'll need. Octofunnel design. Very restrained by French standards, but most importantly, we have our first Mark II gun. Well, it's a 9-inch. But if we convert to millimeters, we could do a 230 millimeter gun, which would be a new caliber. But that should prove to be pretty spot. They look enormous. But yes, they are basically the same as an Imperial 9-inch gun. But Mark II, that's pretty nice. What is the point of one casement? Now, secondaries. On the Brui, we used the 80mm gun, and I think that is a good choice here as well. Because we can fit a reasonable number of them in a kind of porcupine-esque... In fact, yeah. Feels like a porcupine. Very prickly customer. Now, compound armor, Bobby. Some survivability upgrades. I'm going to stick with white powder. I'm not a big fan of ballast light. Or am I? Yes. But we're French. It's poudre B. We'll stick with the French propellant. Thank you very much. This. Yeah, I'll stick with the white powder. I like white powder. Right. And these are +4 mil. There we go. Now then. We're still at 28%, right? Yep. These guns are going to be reasonably punchy. Yeah, 260 millimeters of pen at point blank range. But realistically, with this ship, I think we are going to be looking more at the slightly longer ranges. So I think 250 millimeters. Oh no, I can't have 250 millimeters. We could have 175 though. Just shove as much armor on it as possible. Right, protecting against high explosive, we're going to need, yeah, around 80 mil. Deck armor, we're going to need some. Say 25. do a unitary deck. 80mm superstructure. What's I saying? About 250 on the gun. They're putting 300? Okay. That's a very well-armoured turret. Stupidly well-armoured, one might argue. Let's go 280. A little bit of inner deck, just in case. And yeah, honestly, that looks fine to me. Let's bump the extended armor up to 100 then. And let's get the main deck a bit of a bump to 50. We'll grab maximum bulkheads, extra coal, good to go. Perfect for long range stuff, I reckon. Yeah, I'll let the AI decide where to put them, and I'm also going to have to work out how many I can actually build right now. It's the port capacity that's going to be the limiting factor. So at 8,000 tons, just grab a calculator, we have 98, 48 minus 48, 300, divided by 8. What? 8,000, thank you. 6. We can build 6 of these. 6. There we go. I'll let them distribute them. The AI, I think, does not overburden ports automatically. Like, it will just distribute these. Will be quite negative, but we've got a nice little chunk of naval funds to fall back on. How is everything going in the rest of the world, though? So we have 6 battleships, and we're about 120,000 tons total, and at 42 billion, I think will be the number 2 economy. So the British have basically double our fleet. The Germans have 1 more battleship than us, slightly more total tonnage. The Russians have fewer capital ships. We've got lots of small stuff. We're pretty similar to China in terms of total size. The US has a little bit more than us, but 2 less battleships. Austro-Hungarians are a little bit bigger. This is currently, of course, not including the ships that we just laid down. Italy has no battleships, nothing under construction. Interesting. Japan, 3. Spain, nothing. I think we're in a reasonable place. It's going to be tough if we're taking on Germany and Austria at the same time, which, you know, might happen, but Italy hates us more than Austria does. Everyone's still fairly neutral. I think, though, things are going to kick off because the US and Spain are going to start causing nations to pick sides. But I'll go on a bit more, and I'll either see you in 8 months or when something happens. Welcome back. We have conquered Niger. Relatively straightforward. One of the things I did add in 1.7, which is the version of the Dreadnought Improvement Project for the 1.5 beta, is I did increase the army force you get in colony provinces. Or at least I think I did. You're never always 100% sure. But it should mean that you are able to, you know, have a little bit more army force in your colonies. It's still not going to be as good as your home provinces, but it should make conquest and the army not being totally useless outside of launching attacks from your own your own territory. Anyway, the battleships, the democracies, are now complete, which means we can build yet another battleship. Let's go for the battleship 4. So democracy were 14,000. The Galois, it's a totally different design. Let's go for 15,000. Now, towers, 6.57. Yeah, I think this one actually might be the better bet. Yeah, that looks better. The armoured swimming pool design. Yeah, this one. Something like that. And then that's how you deal with low range, folks. Oh, I love it so much. The Octofunnel. Yes. Glorious. No need to induce the engines. That has proper range, that does. Okay. Now, guns, we should probably use the 300mm again. So gloriously silly. Ah, that's an interesting place to put a gun. It doesn't have a great field of fire. Could it with a different secondary tower? I mean, it's not great. They're basically rear-firing guns, but it's not terrible. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get many of those in. But can we fit casement 80 mils? Yeah, we can. How gloriously silly. What is this design? Oh, we can fiddle with lengths now. 40 caliber, 35s, and okay, just default for on the 80s. Sure. Perfectly sensible ship. I didn't see any issues with this at all. Totally normal. We are a little overweight, but we haven't done the armor just yet. Yeah, I think the 360mm is about right. On the guns, 400 is more than enough. Yeah, let's go with 100 on the other bits. Deck armor, yeah, 50, 25. So this can go down. This can be like maybe 60. 180, well, 50 at most. 90. These guys. Actually, no, make it 100 and 25 on the tops. Tower 400. 2% overweight. And now you might be saying, take a funnel off, you madman. And yeah, I could. But I could also just reduce the amount of coal, because we have a great range on this. We have great efficiency. So we don't need to carry as much coal to have a reasonably decent range. And there we go. 100%. Well, 100%. We were at 99% of our weight allowance, which is absolutely perfect. Gives us a little bit of wiggle room. And we have a magnificent new ship to add to the fleet. Yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, I'm going to very quickly head back to the map and work out how many of these we can build. We can, in fact, build 3 of them. Absolutely perfect. We can do the exact same setup. And this will increase our battleship fleet yet again, which is, again, ideal. Now, finance-wise, we're starting to look a little bit peaky, but I have been keeping my ships on in being. You may be wondering why. Well, you can see we're actually still stuck on green crews. Despite having 100% funding. I don't know if that's because I'm at a cap or what, but given that they're not going up from that, I'm going to put all of them onto limited, because this will save us a huge amount of money. Yeah, very significant. And I'm happy to run at the -10 for a little bit. Again, we have a little bit of a buffer in terms of our naval funds, which we can use to kind of extend our building program a little bit. And because we are building 9 relatively large ships right now, and to be on a -10 with all my sliders maxed is looking really quite positive. Still no war between Spain and the US, patching things up, I guess. But that'll be it for this episode. Again, just building and strategic thinking. No wars yet to speak of, and I will see you again soon for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Bye for now.